I came to America to be rewarded for my work. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And I mean whatever it takes.
And we're live. Saman Bakhtiar in the house. How you doing, man?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Living the dream. And I can see you are too out here. All your inspiration on Instagram. You're always making moves. You're always leading by example. You seems like you don't stop.
You have to, man. You know, you only live one life. I mean, why stop? Why be, why stay still? Why sleep? If I could hack sleep, I would.
When you say hack sleep, do you try to just improvise and effectively just generate the best lifestyle possible by using your time efficiently as possible?
Yes, I think that time is our most precious commodity. We all agree to that, right? And let me ask you a question regarding that. Do you see anyone, walking down the street and just throwing money away?
Involuntarily, yes, but not straight cash throwing on the table.
Right? Just throwing, so you don't see too many people just walk around, just throw money away out of their pocket, right? Just throwing out of money. So let me ask you another question. Which is more important, time or money?
Time.
Okay. Then why do we see everyone waste their time?
Maybe because they don't know how valuable it is.
A lot of people still know it's valuable, but they still don't optimize time. And to me, time is everything. One thing is certain, you're born at a certain time and you will die at a certain time. It's what you get done in that amount of time that matters the most. So once you understand the importance of time, how precious it is, and how you can use it to catapult yourself, you don't go around. You're gonna treat it like it's hard-earned money.
That's what everyone says, because they get it. They get to the top of the pyramid. They have all the toys. They have all the possessions that maybe they thought that would make them happy. And then once they get there, I think it was Naval said, the co-founder of AngelList, he said this on Joe Rogan's podcast. He said that you need to get wealthy so that you can find out that that's not the answer.
So true. They always say, money isn't everything. When they used to say me that, well, I said, let me find out for myself. And they're right. Money's definitely not everything. It just solves a lot of your stresses and headaches, and that doesn't solve everything. Just because you're a millionaire or a billionaire doesn't mean you don't have problems. You just have different kind of problems. You don't have a problem that, oh my God, my rent is due. I can't pay my credit card. But you don't have those kind of problems. But you do have different, bigger problems than that.
Yeah. So let's just take this back. I know our time's limited today, and I want to understand, you've built this empire of this, the fitness brand, the community. So you're all about this transformation word. That must be your word.
Well, yeah. I mean, for me, it started with myself. I came to this great country when I was 11 years old, coming to a little town called Sharon, Pennsylvania. And I didn't know the language. I looked different than anybody else. My clothes were different, and I had to transform myself. I had to become a different person. They didn't have my own, my sport that I loved the most, which was football, the real football, not American football, and I didn't know what to do. That was my whole entire life based upon that until that time. So I tried out for the basketball team. I got cut from the basketball team. And then I discovered weightlifting. I love what not only it did for me on the outside, but what it did for me on the inside, my self-esteem, my self-worth, the way I carried myself, the way that I started believing in myself. And, life is all about transformation. It's all about evolving. I would say, evolve or perish, evolve or dissolve. I mean, you always got to reinvent the wheel, reinvent yourself, and become a better version of yourself. So that's why when I created the Camp Transformation Center, I didn't call it the Camp Boot Camp. I didn't call it the Camp Personal Training. I didn't call it the Camp Pilates. Because remember, the methodology of exercise changes. But the only thing that remains constant is the fact that you and I and everybody else in the human race, we are born to become great. We're born to explore and move the needle forward. We put the man on the moon, not the dogs. We invented a plane, not the cats. We invented an automobile, and we invented everything else. No other species have done that. So God has created us to be different and to be able to transform and become better. And I always laugh when somebody says, well, you changed. Of course, idiot. I'm supposed to change. That's what God wants me to change. God has created me to evolve and change. I'm not supposed to be the same person I was last year or a year before, not even yesterday. So if you are not doing that, if you're not evolving, then you are disrespecting God, in my opinion.
What was that first experience opening up the first camp? Was that like, did you have to take out a loan for it? You just put all the chips on the table? And then like, what was that next 1, 2, or 3 camps before it spread out?
Well, the camp started because I was in a desperate place. My personal training, which I did really well between 2000 and 2008, was doing really well until the recession hit. Nobody could afford $600 a month or $800 a month for personal training. So I was struggling trying to figure out how to be able to still be in business. And so we came out with the boot camp concept, the group training concept, where now we can have one trainer and have multiple clients, therefore decreasing the cost for the client. Now instead of, they were paying $800 a month, now they're paying $100 a month. But there was 10, 15, 20 people in the session. And what I didn't realize that not only did it affect, the fact that we could sign up more people, but it also was a better business model because with personal training, as you increased clientele, your expensive went up, your payroll went up. Because you had to have one personal trainer with one client, one personal trainer with one client. But with the boot camp, our payroll remained the same, but our revenue kept going up. And the beauty of what I didn't know about was the fact that with that model, people got better results. People stayed longer, and they were happier.
And you could just see it in their faces and the way they acted. They were just leaving they were leaving the camps just stoked.
Yeah, with personal training, if you ever observe personal training, no matter how good someone is or whatever, after a while, you develop a personal relationship with the personal trainer.
Right.
Next thing you know, there's more of this and less of working out, more talk, less work. And next thing you know, it's just I call it a therapy session. All you do is talk and you're like, oh my God, man, I got to go do this another hour of me listening to this person or talking to this person. With group training, you don't have that. Everybody's talking, there's limited time and everybody needs to move.
And you definitely work out harder too.
Absolutely.
When you're in a group.
100%.
Competition kicks in.
Absolutely.
What was the biggest challenge on the come up of building this empire of these transformation camps? Like, what did you not see coming that was just might have almost stopped you in your tracks?
A lot of things, man. I mean, at first was, how to be able to scale. Going from one location to 2 locations, you can do that. 1 location to 2 locations to 3 locations, you can get by doing that as well. But on the 4th location, man, you gotta have systems. You gotta have procedures. You have to have SOPs, which is called standard operating procedures. So that I didn't know because I never scaled it, and scalability is everything. So if I had to go back, I would look at it as not just, I'm going to have 1 location. Can I repeat this and have the same results all the time?
Is this a repeatable business?
Absolutely. Because if it's not repeatable, it's not scalable.
Were you repeatable at that 3rd and 4th store? Did you feel like you had true repeatability at that point?
Not really. But we kept going. And even today, systems, they can always get better. We have 120 locations. We're still constantly improving systems and try to be more efficient and trying to get everything more dialed in. It's a never ending process.
Was it hard for you to give up control of the systems and outsourcing and building out that team?
It wasn't, because I knew what I was good at and I knew what I sucked at. And it's very important for all the entrepreneurs to understand that and know that. A lot of people say, well, work on your weaknesses and get that. And you know what? No. You work on your strengths and what you love to do, what you're good at, and then outsource your weaknesses or partner up for your weaknesses. For me, day-to-day operations has never been my forte. I don't have the patience for it. I don't like it. And it's not where I'm happy at. I like marketing. I like sales. I like joint ventures. I like the big ideas. And so, my partner does all the day-to-day operations. And God bless her. She's great at it, a lot better than I do. And I want to be able to do what I do without her.
You guys feel like you're a dream team?
Absolutely. She's good at what she's at, and she doesn't know what she's not good at what I do, and vice versa. So, we come together and win ball games. You can't play every position.
You can try, but
You're not going to win.
Right. What fills your cup up these days? When you look at your life, you seem to have it all. We're chilling in your garage right now. This is straight out of a magazine right now, and I'm enjoying it. And just everywhere you live, to the people you work with, just good people. You seem like you surround yourself with good people, and you must be a good reader of energy and just overall values to be able to build what you've built.
Thank you, man. I mean, at the end of the day, this is something that it didn't come to me till later. When I was broke, when, I was getting foreclosure notices on the house, or I was bankrupt, or where the creditors were calling me, I couldn't think about fulfillment. I didn't know what that word meant. I didn't know what that word meant, just giving yourself selflessly to people. And everybody said, well, yeah, fulfillment, make your heart happy. I'm like, dude, I can't think about fulfillment because I'm drowning.
How old were you?
Not too long ago. I mean, when I was, I was broke most of my life. I started making money from 2000 to 2008. When I mean money is, I was making 10 to 20 grand a month. At the time, I thought it was money. You know what I mean? And I was just, a young kid, graduated, and now making 10 to 20. I come from Sharon, PA, which
it's still amazing. I mean, a lot of people would love that.
Yeah, I mean, there's different levels on it, right? I was making 20 grand a month, and I bought my first Ferrari, and my payment was $5 grand a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm going
sent it though.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? That was always my car, the dream car, like a Ferrari, right? I'm like, what the hell was I taking? 25% of my income was going to my car payment, and that was so stupid, so stupid. You do dumb things, you know what I mean? But these days, what really, helps me, is to help people to be fulfillment. Tony Robbins says that, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And I never understand that until I became successful. And what I mean by success, in a money kind of way, in a monetary kind of way, is that once you have a house that's paid for, your cars that are paid for, you can cover your bills and your expenses easily, then everything over that is kind of a waste. Yes, do I want to make more money? Yes. But do I want to make more money at the expense of losing time? No, not at all. So I would never do that. Back in the day, I don't care what I had to do. I would go work 70, 80 hours a day because I had to make things work. But now with what I have now, if I get $100 million check tomorrow, guess what I'm going to do tomorrow? Same thing that I'm doing. What do I want to do? Do I want to get a bigger house? I don't need a bigger house. There's rooms here that I haven't been into.
Yeah, I went to your bathroom and I felt like I was in SpaceX. I've never seen a bathroom like that.
So now it comes a point in your life and you look back and like, what do I want to do? How will I measure my life? And for me, it's my family. Is what the memories that I remain for my children and my wife. And also other people. What impact am I going to make for other people? And that's what's really fulfilling for me today.
And this is really fulfilling to the audience because there's so many entrepreneurs that are so hard locked into the day-to-day actions of building their own businesses, and sometimes they lose focus on what really matters, whether that be family, whether that be smelling the roses and just enjoying life.
Well, I got my theory on that, and my theory is this. If you really, really, truly learn how to manage your time and be super productive, then you can give time to your family and not feel guilty about it. You don't have to work 24/7 around the clock. The reason you work 24/7 around the clock is because you're not getting shit done the other 8 hours or whatever hours that you work. But if you really, really focus on some focus time, you can get so much done in an hour. And a lot of people are distracted. They're not really sitting down and focused. They're either on the phone, Instagram, text, Snapchat, all that kind of stuff. They're all, so there was something that's supposed to take an hour, takes 6 hours. And then they can't go they feel guilty, spending time with their family or their loved ones because they really didn't get anything done.
It's true. We live in a world, though, that is full of distractions. So getting those priorities straight is a beast in itself.
Well, it's discipline, right? And believe me, I'm going to go on the record and say checking your phone is probably harder to give up than crack. I see it all the time. I mean, have you ever just kicked back and people watch on the mall or like anywhere? I go anywhere, I go to restaurants. Look, I'm like, let me see how many minutes goes by with this person checking his phone.
We're addicted. It's part of our DNA. It's
Yes,
dopamine.
like,
Every time we see it, it's a dopamine rush.
You know what I mean? But you have to be aware of that. And you have to control it. Look, you're in control of your life. You can't react to everything. You have to be proactive to your life. And I mean, I love the fact that I can just put the phone away for 2 days and just be with my kids. I just don't care.
It's pure joy.
To me, the ultimate form of success for me, I always said this, and I said this on the record before. I said, one day when I really truly make it, I will just have a flip phone, and it'll be off all the time. The only time I turn it on is when I turn it on and I want to call someone. Now, that's freedom. The freedom to be present. The freedom to be nowhere else. Be in front of someone and giving them 100% of their attention. And understand and really listen to them. No, it doesn't happen much these days.
And to be able to build those connections that you can make 10 calls a week and still get the same amount of work done you did over making 100.
Absolutely.
It's real interesting. If you could go back and talk to, the young Sam who's in debt, he's making it day by day, he's struggling, he's doubting himself. I don't know if you were doubting yourself back then.
Of course I was.
But if you could go back and talk to him and say 1, 2, or 3 things that, could have saved you a ton of time, money, headache, heartache, and, it can't be, I wouldn't have told him nothing because that would have made me who I am today, though it is a good answer. What would some of those things that you would say to him?
First, man, you change your proximity. I was hanging around the wrong crowds. I was hanging around people with no ambition. I was hanging around people who were playing the wrong game. And that cost me a lot of years of my life. I would say that if I would have started in my early 20s to surround myself with the right people and done personal development and got mentoring, which is the second one, got mentorship, I would have probably been a billionaire, not a millionaire. So that's what I regret going back, because I didn't have the right coaching, the right support, the right standards. The third one, I would say, kind of just raise your standards in life. Demand more out of yourself. Demand more out of people around you. That doesn't mean you got to be a dick, because at one time I was a dick. I'm going to go on the record and say I was just a big dick, because I didn't understand why people's standards were lower than mine, and I thought everybody should have high standards. But as a leader, you don't put people down. You lift people up. You empower people. And not that I was doing it on purpose. I was trying to motivate them. I was doing the locker room talk all the time, because I was always I'm a sports guy, so we were getting there and F this and F that was a locker room. And I thought this was what motivated. But some people are not. Some people, you got to give them a lot of love, a lot of attention, and you got to nurture them and just show them the vision, show them what they can become if they raise their standard and demand better for themselves.
You still play football?
I don't play football anymore. My daughter does.
Do you coach?
I do coach.
You probably love coaching.
I love it, man. I love it. My coaching style has changed. Like I said, I was a lot more hardcore when I was younger, man. It was like, I demanded so much. And now I learn as a good coach, anybody can, murder someone. And now how can you progress them? How can you progress them without murdering them, without killing their spirit? And that comes with age, wisdom.
It's interesting that athletes sometimes make the greatest CEOs or company owners, because they do have that discipline to go to the gym and clock in those hours and put in what needs to get done, because that scheduling aspect seems like huge, and just feeding your brain the right information and the nutrition, both mentally, spiritually, filling up the cup every single day.
Once you develop what I call the discipline muscles, then you can use those muscles in different areas of your life.
What are the core discipline muscles features, would you say?
I think the most important features of discipline muscles is, first of all, knowing and being crystal clear of what you want out of life. If you're not, you can set all these goals and all these time management, but you can be totally playing the wrong game. You got to be crystal clear of exactly what you want out of life. Once I became crystal clear of what I want out of my life, what I want to get out of my life, then your decision making becomes really easy.
So you're talking taking enough with the goals, think about where you want to be 20, 30 years in every aspect. I mean, are you talking brainstorming every little tiny detail?
You don't want to overwhelm yourself. Here's when I became crystal clear. Let me give you an example. I sat down with myself, at a point in my life when I was divorced. I was living in a hotel. This was 6 years ago. I just got done being broke because of the recession. And I lived in this cheap hotel for 4 months. Every night I cried. I'm like, man, I lost my family. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I said, well, what do I want my life to be? What do I need to do? What are activities that I need to do, concentrate on to take my life to the next level? So I said, what are my top priorities? Well, my top priority has always been to spend as much time with my children. If I'm not spending time with my children, whether they're at work or, it's not my weekend or whatever, then it's to provide for my children.
How old are they?
I have 3 now. I have 10 and 6 and a 7-month-old.
Did everything change when you had your kids?
Absolutely.
You just can't describe it. It's just one of those things that if you don't have kids, you just don't know.
I wholeheartedly believe that you are not a man until you have kids. Because before kids, I was the most selfish, self-centered bastard in the world. I was the only child. I was a bodybuilder, which is the most selfish sport. It's all about
total hardo.
It's all about when you train, when you eat, when you sleep, when you tan, when you pose. I was a bodybuilder, and I got out of college, started making pretty decent money. It's all about my cars, my clothes, my watch, my swagger. And once the kids came, dude, I didn't give a fuck about none of that. All I cared about is this person that I'm holding in my hand right now cannot take care of itself, didn't ask to be here. And now I got to make sure not only I set this person up and give this person the right tool, but be able to guide them to be a functioning member of the society.
Your whole demeanor changes.
Absolutely. I remember right away, as soon as I saw the ultrasound picture, I sold my bikes, my motorcycles, got life insurance. And started a 529 account and a college fund for them right away. The girls now, I'm looking at their account the other day. They got more money than when I was in my 30s. They got more money in their account when I'm like, by far. I mean, not by landslide. They're 10 and 6. I went from this selfish person to this totally selfless person. Everything that if I lose a dime or if somebody, I don't know, I feel like rip me off for $1 or something like that, I get pissed because I'm like, wait, that's not my money. That's my kid's money.
So if you ain't ready to go have a kid and get this responsibility, maybe you should start with a husky.
Dude, I mean, I don't think it's the same at that point. The responsibility of taking care of somebody is one thing.
Right.
Husky, you don't have to send to college. The husky is going to take care of himself when you die. Or go to the pound. The husky is not going to get your inheritance or life insurance. You see what I mean when that time comes.
100%.
You see, I mean, everybody tells you that.
I mean, the way you speak, you got this calm, you're able to just be so impactful with your words in such a chill, direct way. Clearly you've done a ton of personal development.
I've tried. I wish I would have started in my 20s. I didn't start till I was 35. I'm 46 now. Up until 35, I was bodybuilding and I was, taking a bunch of steroids, getting on stages, caring about what people think about me, thinking about how my body looks all the time, what kind of clothes I send, what kind of clothes I wear, car I pull up to the club.
Completely changed.
I'm like, dude, I got, I don't, everybody asks me what's my favorite car now. And I'm like, my Infiniti SUV. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, bro, it's comfortable. I don't have to worry about where I park it. I don't have to worry about going on a curve. I just become simplified. I see the bigger picture now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This stuff you see was when I was broke. I'm like, once I make it, I'm gonna get my Ferrari again. Or once I make it, I'm gonna get my Lambo. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't really matter. If that's what you want, that's your goal. Go get it.
Right.
That was one of my goals. But don't think that that's gonna make you happy, because if you're not happy with $1,000, you're not going to be happy with $1 million.
Well, like you said, you just wanted to get to that 10 to 20 mark when you're when you're broke. That changes everything. But once you get there, every level, you end up leveling up to an entire new playing field. Every level has a new devil, but every level also has just new angels at the same time.
Well, I mean, look, if somebody comes and says, look, I will give you $1 billion, but then you're not going to see your kids for 5 years.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I can't do that.
You'll be in like a prison, sort of.
I can't do that. I don't care for all amount of money. I'm not going to do that. There's nothing, you know what I mean? Well, some people are, well, I'll do it for 5 years. No. You don't ever get that time back. You know what I mean? So everything that I look at when it comes to things, is, okay, is the money worth the time? Is this thing that I'm doing the highest and the best use of my time? And if it's not, if there's a higher use for my time, then I'm going to choose a higher task.
And to the listeners that are listening right now, that everyone's got a busy day, there's a majillion things that they can be listening to. If you're listening to Sam speak right now, you are prioritizing your time to try to build yourself and link yourself. Was it personal development a key, just feeding your brain good stuff, huge for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't get it when somebody says they want to be successful, but yet to watch Netflix or TV for 2, 3, 4 hours a day. I don't understand it. Even right now, I switch from when I work out, listen to music, just listen to audiobooks. For years, I struggled with that. For years, I was like, no, I need music. I need something to pump me up. And then after listening to Dr. Dre, Tupac, The Weeknd for 1,000,000th time, I'm like, dude, what the hell? This song is not going to do anything for my life. So I'd rather listen to an audiobook and at least grab a nugget or two when I'm working out and be a better person, and that's what I do now. You got to maximize your time. Like I said, there's nothing more precious than that. So I want to make sure every minute that I'm awake, I'm doing the things that's going to get me closer to my goal.
Well, there's people right now that are right on the edge of jumping into entrepreneurship for that first time. Maybe they're like you, about to start your first camp. They're nervous, they're anxious, they have this idea, but an idea without execution is basically not real. What would you say to that person that's right on the cusp of making that jump and taking out that loan or whatever it is to make it a reality?
Well, first of all, you have to understand, entrepreneur. I remember about 15 years ago, one of my friends that I'm really good friends with now, but I didn't know him then. He came to my gym. He wanted to sign up for personal training. And I said, all right, man, great, man. I signed him up. His name is Dan Charlier. I signed him up. I said, what do you do? He goes, I'm an entrepreneur. I go, look, so what the fuck is that? I was like, and then, 15 years ago, nobody said I'm an entrepreneur. But now, like, everybody and their mother's an entrepreneur. I got people approach me, little kids approach me. I'm an entrepreneur because I'll glorify, and if you're on the cusp of becoming an entrepreneur, understand that entrepreneurship is not a glorified occupation. It's entrepreneur. You can work for someone from 9 to 5, or you can work for yourself from 9 to 9, 24/7. And entrepreneurship is going to have risk. It's going to have sleepless nights. It's going to come with ulcers. It's going to come with panic attacks. It's going to come with failed relationships. It's going to come from maybe risking your house when you're going on foreclosure, maybe go bankrupt. Because everything that I described, I've been through because of entrepreneurship. But the reward, if you do it right, is limitless. And to me, that what makes entrepreneurship so worth it, because I don't want to live a life and have a glass ceiling. I don't want to live a life and say, no matter what I do, this is all I can get. If that's the case, then I might as well go to a communist country or a socialist country, where everybody is equal. And no matter how hard you work, you make the same amount, you make the same thing, you're the same person. I came to America to be rewarded for my work. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And I mean whatever it takes. See, here's what people don't understand. A lot of people want success. A lot of people want entrepreneurship. A lot of people want the nice things. A lot of people want a good life. But they're not willing to pay the price. I'm a firm believer that you can be anything you want, as long as you're willing to pay the price, and willing to pay the price day in, day out. You know, nobody wants to do that. A lot of people want to talk. And I hate that.
It seems like there's a big paradigm shift when you become comfortable with the idea of failing still being progression, and not letting failures crush you, but looking them at lessons.
So true.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course I know. It's so true. You know, when people ask me, what is your secret to success? I say failure. I mean, so cliche. It's failure. I've learned so much from my failure. And now every time there's a failure, every time that I have a setback, I just laugh. I'm like, there is something that I need to learn from this. This is good. This is really, really good. You know, and now I embrace it. I'm like that, you know, MMA fighter when he gets clocked in the face and he shakes it off and laughs. Like, yeah, bro, good one. You know, become that. You know, you have to go through a bunch of fail. You know, first time you fail, you hurt. And the second time you fail, you hurt. But after you fail over and over again, you don't understand it's a process. It's a way of life. I mean, without failure, then you might as well just get. First of all, there is no guarantee in life. You know, you got to take some risk. So you might as well take some risk for yourself. You might as well take some calculated risk and go for it. You know, when you're, you know, on your deathbed, what do you want to do? You want to say, I played it safe? Or do you want to say, hey, I tried it. I fucked up, but I've tried it.
Yeah, the worst day in your life would be hanging out on your deathbed with the dude or with the chick that you could have been. You know, like I think about that all the time and I'm like, oh, damn, man, I got to get up and go do something. Today, now you're operating these clubs, you're doing this, you are building the community. Community has become pretty big to you because it seems like you're online constantly preaching about, you know, and pouring into people. How are you doing that on a day-to-day basis? Do you do coaching? Do you do private coaching? Or do you just encourage the world? And
no, I was just encouraging the world. But recently, I started doing some private coaching, you know, and that's really is going to be my life work. You know, my businesses are like college kids now because they kind of have their own identity. You know, they're kind of running by themselves. They have CFOs and CEOs and accountants and attorneys, and you know, they need me for advice now. You know, when they need me for advice, I'm the big papa. They come for advice, but they don't need me day to day. You know, and now I feel like an empty nester. I feel like, okay, what am I going to do? Like, you know, I don't want to do, you know, the kids are in school, you know, while the kids are in school, I got to do something. I can't just, you know, sit home. What am I going to do? Sit on Wednesday and watch Netflix?
so you switched out Tupac for Big Papa.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And now all I want to do is that.
When you meant college kids, just young people, like mentoring them and
Yeah.
teaching them the things that you wish you could have done at that age.
You know, anyone who needs guidance. It can be college kids. It can be older adult. Anyone that needs guidance. Anybody who wants to improve themselves and become better, and I can have to shine some light on it. It's an honor. It's an honor. Nothing is more fulfilling than you helping someone become successful. Nothing is more fulfilling than that. No amount of money. I used to get that all the time when I owned my gyms, and I still do it. I mean, people still own my own gyms. Like, hey, Sam, you changed my life. I lost this much weight, Sam. You know, because of your program, you know, I got off my medication. Sam, because of your program, I'm not depressed anymore. Sam, because of your program, you know, we couldn't have a kid. Now we can have children. You know, that was so fulfilling. But the next level of fulfillment is now when you really change someone's life financially and in every other aspect.
Can you reflect on a mentor for you today that said something to you, or someone that really you felt like helped level you up and bring you up to that new realization of your potential?
Yeah, I have many mentors along the way, and it's crazy when you brainstorm and have a mentor who is already where you want to go. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It just makes you think larger. You can't be the biggest fish in the pond. You won't grow. I love putting myself in situations where I'm like uncomfortable. For example, man, I mean, I put my, we went we were invited somewhere where there was just a bunch of billionaires. And I felt so poor. I felt so minuscule. I'm going like, oh my God, this person owns the Sacramento Kings. This person owns the NFL, this team, and this person has this. And I'm going like, am I even supposed to be here? Then I remembered that one of my mentors, one of my students, brought his mom and dad here. And his mom and dad, they're blue collar, And when they came here, and they're like, well, we don't belong here. I'm like, what do you mean? They told him, and I told him, what do you mean they don't belong? Of course they belong here. They're just like anybody else. Why do they feel uncomfortable being in my house? But I felt like that being in a billionaire's house. Then I checked myself. So you know what? I do belong here. I want to see what's possible. So that's what the different levels is. And when you are exposed to a bigger fish, you become bigger yourself.
And if you become the biggest fish, you got to go look other planets and got to go to Mars, man.
You got to go to a different pond, find a different lake, find a different ocean.
So with that said, first of all, this has just been amazing. I mean, just the way you speak to people, it's really powerful. And I appreciate, being here with you and soaking this up. Your team, you guys are all fantastic humans. How can people get more of Sam in their life if they want to, either one, maybe even partake in your coaching, or just to follow you on social media and continue enjoying the words?
I'm just Google me. I'm very Googleable, So just Sam, Sam Bakhtiar, Bakhtiar. If someone want to have a more intimate, close relationship with me, you can text me, 909 200 4015. That's 909 200 4015. And I actually answer every text.
Boom. All right. That was the most fire thing you just said today.
Thank you.
All of a sudden it's just going to be ringing nonstop. Like, yo, my bad. I was just kidding.
No, I love it, man. I love connecting with people, man. And it's an honor and privilege to be able to get back and be able to pay it forward. There's so many people that have helped me along the way. It's my time now.
I love that. You're a good dude.
Thank you, brother.
All right, man. Until next time, we appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Len Jones Party of Two. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review and subscribe to stay up to date on our new episodes. And remember, hope is not a strategy. Keep making moves. Till next time, peace.